Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah wa barakatuh and Ramadan Kareem. The Imam Hussein charity will be running its food basket campaign again this year, giving you the opportunity to help destitute and impoverished families throughout the whole of Iraq and Afghanistan. Each food basket contains essentials such as rice, flour, dried lemons, tea, fruits and vegetables, oil, tomato paste, dates, and much more. Each basket is £25 and can feed a family of 4 for up to 10 days. You can feed a family of 4 for the whole of Ramadan for only £75. You can donate via bank transfer, PayPal, or visit us at www.imamhusseincharity.com.
We question our daily position, seeking answers and definitions. Get the queries off your chest with Ahkam SOS.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ahkam SOS, the show that discusses Islamic duties and practices. Now, this is a live show. We do taking your questions. If you have any questions you'd like to send in, please send them in via the WhatsApp, the email address. Give us a call 0203-515-0199. If you're watching on Facebook Live or you're watching on YouTube, send in your questions in the comment section, and inshallah, the technical team will be able to send them to me, and me and Sheikh will be able to discuss and answer all of your questions. I'm your host, Hussein Shia, and joining me is Sheikh Ali Ma'ash. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
How are you doing, Sheikh? How's your fast? Almost there, Sheikh. Almost there.
Almost there, inshallah.
Sheikh, at the beginning of the show, before we start answering questions, you know, you go through a hadith or a dua, and you go through the tafsir and so forth. So over to you, Sheikh. What do you have for us today? Bismillah.
Inshallah. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. In the prophetic sermon about the holy month of Ramadan, he sallallahu alayhi wa states, أيها الناس إن أبواب الجنان في هذا الشهر مفتحة. O people, the gates of paradise are open in this holy month. So in other words, this holy month is exceptions with regards to the blessings that comes from the heavens for those believing individuals, for those who fast in this holy month. فَاسْأَلُوا رَبَّكُمْ أَلَّا يُغَلِّقَهَا عَلَيْ عَنْكُمْ. Thus, ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, your Lord, not to close those doors in your face. In other words, keep the doors of heaven open with your a'mal, with good a'mal, with your good deeds, and to refrain from the acts of forbidden and sin. In this holy month, we learn, inshallah, to practice more a'mal al-salihah, try to please Allah Azza wa Jal, to please the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he said in his sermon that the gates of paradise would be open in this holy month. An exception banquet for the believing individuals in this holy month, for the mu'mineen who are fasting, that you can easily get through to your hajat, the acceptance of your amal in this holy month before it ends. So we haven't got much time, maybe less than 3 days, 2 days. So let's catch up and let's keep the doors of paradise open so we can gain more of thawab and rewards in the hereafter and the happiness in this dunya, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Sheikh. A quick reminder to all of you is that this is a live show. We do take all your questions. If you have any question in regards to any topic, we don't need to know your name or where you're asking from. Just send in your question anonymously on any topic whatsoever via the WhatsApp, email address. Give us a call 0203-515-0199. If you're watching on Facebook Live or on YouTube, send in your questions in the comment section, and inshallah we'll be able to answer those questions for you. Let's start off with Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Asana.
Is there a way I can break my fast without paying the full kafara, example 60 days? Sheikh, sometimes maybe people find it being, maybe they didn't wake up on time for suhoor, maybe didn't get much to eat, maybe the body's still adjusting and maybe they're finding the fast difficult, is there any way that they can break the fast without having to do the fine of 60 days?
I mean, one should continuously at least do 31 days, as mentioned before. That's a consecutive method of fasting, the kafara. And then after 31 days, you can break it up into every 2 days, 3 days.
No, I think this person is fasting right now, and they want to break the fast. But if they break the fast,
They have to
intentionally
do
they have
again.
to do
Yeah,
6 days.
all
So
over
I
again.
think maybe traveling before Dhuhr, would that help?
The issue is if they break it, they have to start again.
Mhm.
So it's a bit difficult, to be honest. They have to finish the
Fair
course
enough.
of the fast.
Fair enough. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I would like to get married to a girl, the girl of my dreams. Inshallah, may all the brothers get married to the girls of their dreams. But her parents may not agree. Is there any way around that? We are very fond of each other, but as we both would like to move forward, but afraid of the pushback. So I think it happens quite often, Sheikh, in the community. The boy likes the girl likes the boy, but sometimes there's a clash with the parents. What to do in this situation?
Well, my query is about how did this relationship was built? My question, how? Without any prayer, aqid or contract, for example. How can they love and exchange love with each other? Even verbally, even by message. As if these types of relationships are not permissible. As the Holy Quran states, وَلَا مُتَّخِذِي أَخْدَانٍ. Khadan means to have opposite gender to be as your friend. So that friendship, or whatever you want to call it, how did this was built? And as a result, they are now in trouble of, we can't get married because my parents, they're not allowing, for example, from any side. From the beginning, you have to go and use the right methods and means, and don't do it the wrong way, the haram way. They have to speak to the elderly one, let's say the grandmothers or fathers, for example, from any side. Those who can have the influence on her parents, for example, or to the Mawlana, or whoever they trust and they rely on.
Ahsan. From the YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi's website does not give us the date of Eid on the website, so how will I find out when it is Eid according to him for the UK? First of all, Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi's website won't have that because it will be announced on the eve of Eid, so it will be Sunday night most likely, or Monday that will be announced. But Sheikhna, any marja that announces that it is Eid, where's the best place to find the information for the UK?
Exactly, the ulama would send people who they trust to do the moon sighting on the eve of the 30th. يعني, let's say 29 days of the month has elapsed.
Yes.
So on the eve of the 30th, if they see the crescent, the hilal, then they will announce that it is Eid. If not, they will announce that to continue fast that one in the 30th day, and of course, first of Shawwal would be the following of the after the 30th. So we have to wait till the evening of the eve of the 30th, in other words. So we have to fast 29 days at least. And on that eve, we have to wait and see the announcement. Otherwise, we can't, from now, announce Eid without having seen the crescent and the hilal. You can't. That's why the ulama would not announce anything until that evening. When they see the hilal, they would announce. Otherwise, they would say you have to complete the course of the fast till the 30th, and then, of course, automatically, the first day of Shawwal and the Eid would be after 30th.
I see. More questions coming in. Is shaving, this is from YouTube, is shaving the unibrow haram? Okay, Sheikhna, unibrow meaning there's a part in the eyebrow where it joins.
Well, it's fine, it's fine. I don't know an issue with it, yeah.
Well, and what is the ruling on returning salam to non-Muslims? So sometimes we have Christians, Jews, some Hindus, even Sikhs, they know you are a Muslim, they know the greeting, so they'll say to you, Salaam alaikum. So what is the reply to those?
What some ulama say that reply to them as alaykum. Because salam alaikum is for the Muslims, for the believing individuals.
Really good question here. Are ruqya real? Can jinns really possess you? We've answered this before, Sheikh,
Yes.
but for the benefit of the doubt of the viewer, please.
Yes, basically the jinn, they have no power, or even the shaitan, over our mind and body and soul. Yes, they can whisper, they can do waswasa min shar al-waswas al-khannas alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudur al-nas, but they can't overwhelm and take over the control.
So
And of course, there are ad'iyah to carry with you, for example, ta'weez and so forth, which are the ones which are done in the right way, of course, using the ad'iyah of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, the Holy Quran, for example. Yes, the one can use them to repel such evil beings.
More coming from the YouTube. Can you marry and eat slaughtered food from Zoroastrians? Really good question. So, can you marry a Zoroastrian, and can you eat the meat slaughtered by a Zoroastrian?
According to some ulama, that they are part of the Ahlul Kitab. So yes, you can get married in this way, but to eat their meat, no, it has to be from Muslims' hands, from Muslim market.
Ahsant. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh and Sayyid. Alaikum salam, thank you. I'm thankful for this opportunity. My question is, would like to get married to this girl, but her father is not in her life. What are the procedures? So, there's a brother here, he's seen the girl, he'd like to propose, but the father figure's not there, passed away. So what is the procedure? What should he do? What's the best way to approach the family?
And she's virgin?
Most likely. Let's say yes.
He needs to go and ask permission from the grandfather, the father of the father.
Yes.
Because he's wali over her.
Okay. And if he's not available,
then she has
then the mother
her
can
own
you speak
choice.
to the
No,
mother?
nobody has the wilaya over the girl, the virgin girl. No,
Fair enough.
except the father and the grandfather.
Ahsantum. Fair enough. Got some questions from yesterday, Sheikh. Inshallah, go through some of them. What should I do if I had food which contains pork while not knowing at the time I eat, but later on people said the food contained pork? I feel very bad. What should I do? Thank you so much. Sheikh, sometimes it doesn't mean that they had pork directly, but there could have been, little segments or little increments of pork in the food, pork gelatin, let's say, for example, or something like that. What does one do in that situation?
Just say astaghfirullah and ask Allah's ghufran, that's it.
Assalamu alaikum. I had COVID, but it was very mild. I didn't fast. Do I just pay it off qadha only? And I had a wet dream but forgot to do russo before the next fast. Does that invalidate the next fast as well? Okay, so two. First one, I had COVID. It was very mild, but I didn't fast. Do I do a qadha or do I have to pay the kafara?
Initially, was it the situation severe that you can't fast, for example? You would faint, for example? Did the medics said you don't have to fast, for example? It's both sides, from the medics and your side as well. If it's just a mild, which means it wouldn't have any effect, then of course that needs kafara and qada, because you ate and drank intentionally. That's the problem.
Okay.
You should have asked one of the let's say Maulanas or your marja' representative, for example, for this mas'ala, because you can't just break because of just a mild, let's say, fever or a mild cold. You have to basically make sure that it's severe to a situation that you can't continue without having medication or, let's say, food or drink. Otherwise, yes, it's problematic.
And the second part of the question, I had a wet dream but forgot to do ghusl before the next fast. Does that invalidate my next fast? Well, yes, you have to be tahir in order to fast, but in that situation, if you forgot to do the ghusl, the fast, is that qadha or kafara has to pay?
Qadha comes, of course, the first, definitely. And I think there's a kafara we've read a couple of days ago about, if you remain with janaba until adhan al-fajr, you have to do qadha and kafara as well.
Wow. Assalamu alaikum. Can a depressed Muslim have antidepressants? I heard it was a type of drug. Antidepressant, Sheikhna, is a real thing. It can be prescribed by doctors for people who are in depression and so forth. And it basically it helps them with their chemical imbalances in their brain to make them a bit more happier and so forth, and to fight depression. As Muslims, are we allowed to take these medicines?
If there's no harm with these medications and prescribed by the doctor, for example, one can do so, as long as it's not harmful.
Ahsant. More hair. After Ramadan, what is the best prayer example? I have heard from Sunni sources to pray Surah Baqarah. Is this true? And also, what else can you do to remove shaitan's waswasa? Good amal to do after Ramadan, Sheikhna, and something to remove shaitan's waswasa.
Good amal, I mean, start to recite the ad'iyah after each salah. There's salat al-subuh, when you pray, there's dua al-ahad, for example, ta'qibat, it's all in Mafatih al-Jinan. If you open the first chapter and part of the a'mal, it begins with the a'mal of after salah, what you do, a'mal mushtarak after salah. So do these a'mal, ad'iyah, different types of ad'iyah about, improving your memorization, for example, for easing the hisab on the Day of Judgment. It's all a small ad'iyah with this regard after salah. I would stick to these, for example, ad'iyah after each salah, for example. There is mustahab, pray for each day, salah yawm al-thalatha, yawm al-arbi'a. There's dua and ziyarah for every day, specific dua, specific ziyarah for specific imams of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. For example, on Monday you would visit Imam al-Hasan and Hussein alayhi salam. On Sunday you would visit Imam Ali alayhi salam and Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam, for example. Saturday, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You try to recite, have a schedule of a'mal every day after each salah, for example. That would be a great way to keep on with the feelings of this holy month, and somehow the feelings of ad'iyah and ziyarat.
Assalamu alaikum, dear host and Sheikh. Alaikum salam. I am an Australian-born Lebanese. My Arabic reading is not very strong. I do try reading, it's in Arabic, but I don't understand the words. Am I able to read the Quran in English?
Try to play and listen to the Arabic version and read the translation as a result. That's fine.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers. I wanted to know and to ask, why do the Ahlul Bayt sect follow more of Ali alayhi salam's hadiths compared to our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's hadith? In reality, Sheikh, now we don't really follow. There's not many hadiths of Imam Ali compared to Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam, Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salam. But okay, why do we follow Imam Ali's hadith more than Rasulullah's hadith?
Well, that needs to bring proof and evidence for that, because if you see, for example, I'm currently narrating the sermon of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for the past few days. The sermon of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for the forthcoming of the month Ramadan. I think last Friday of Sha'ban.
Yeah.
He recited this sermon in the mosque, and Imam Ali was narrating this sermon. So he was narrating this sermon.
From Rasulullah.
So, as the hadith says, "Ana Madinatul Ilm wa Ali babuha." Ali is the door of the gate of knowledge of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it goes back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam.
I found some way to avoid paying tax, so I'm not completely illegal. Is it permissible to get away with this? Sheikh, paying taxes in these foreign lands, should we pay the taxes? Should we? Is it Islamically? Is it okay to play with the numbers?
Ayatul Sistan says that you have to follow the law of the land that you live in. You must follow that law of that land.
Ahsant. Good afternoon, Sheikh and Sayyid. Good evening. I have some doubt, where are my fasts valid, because I may or may not have broken them. I still have to do I still need to retake my fast? Okay, Sheikh, if you have doubt whether you broke your fast or not, do you still need to do qadha of that?
Are you certain you broke it?
Doubt.
Inshallah sahih.
Ahsant. Hello, assalamu alaikum. I would like to get married, but my parents are not radhi for me to marry the person I have chosen. I do not want to upset my parents, but what can I do?
Well, gaining the pleasure of the parents is important for your future in life. I've seen many cases that as a result, for displeasing their parents, they had, na'udhu billah, a disabled child as a result.
Oh, wow.
They had hardship in their life, loss of wealth, loss of many issues. So try to gain the pleasure and the satisfaction of your parents first, inshallah.
Good question here from YouTube. Does a woman have to change her surname when she gets married? This is something practiced in the West a lot, Sheikhna. You know, that the female becomes part of the family and she also adopts the surname of her husband. Do we have this concept in Islam?
Well, I haven't seen such thing in, for example, in Iraq, that you change your surname. But in Iran, yes, I've seen that she would change her surname to the husband's surname. Yeah.
I think with the Arab culture, first of all, there's no such thing as surnames. You're known as your name, your father's name, and your grandfather's name.
Yeah.
And you'd have your tribe that you belong to, which wasn't always part of your name. And same with those who got married with Arab men. They would keep their names that they had and their tribe affiliations as well. Assalamu alaikum. My question is, my family follow a different marja than I do, and our Eid days are different. Am I allowed to celebrate on the day they celebrate on my day, even though we follow different people? Sheikh, sometimes this happens quite a lot. Maraja will give that tomorrow is Eid, other Maraja will say, no, it is not, you have to fast. If I have to fast, mathalan, Monday is most likely going to be Eid this year. If Monday, one marja says, no, you have to fast. My marja says, no, you have to fast. My parents' marja says, no, it's Eid. Can I participate in the celebrations or should I fast?
So he means he wants to break his fast.
He's just asking, what should he do?
Best thing to contact your marja's office and ask them. That's the best thing. If you want the precaution side, you want to get away from this issue, travel on that day, and then come back and enjoy the Eid with you, or the celebrations with your family and friends. Yeah, go.
One day qada.
They travel. That's the best thing.
Travel, nice. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. My local restaurant serves some haram food, but they also have halal options such as fish. But the way they fry, they state that there may be cross-contaminations between the frying from the haram and the halal meat. What do I do? Can I eat the fish?
If they said so, then you can't, of course. You have to avoid. It's
I think what they say, I know who the restaurant they're referring to. The restaurant says that they do their best for no cross-contamination, but they cannot guarantee it. So, you know, when asking, is your fish halal? The response will be, we cannot guarantee it is halal. We do our best to keep it halal, as in not to cross-contaminate with other products, but we cannot guarantee it. In that situation, do I say, yes, they're trying their best, it's okay? Or should I say, actually, no, they're not Muslim, the people working there are not Muslim, and to be honest, they don't, portray themselves to be a halal restaurant. So why should I, eat there?
I would definitely avoid it as a precaution. I would avoid it, yes.
Fair enough. From WhatsApp, Sheikhana, should Shia have adhan asr in their mosques?
We have adhan al-dhuhr in the mosques. Why should we have adhan asr? When the Holy Prophet ﷺ joined both two salah, why should I separate?
Maybe they feel just to hear the adhan. If you've prayed asr, you've prayed asr. But the time of asr is normally later on in the afternoon. Should there be an adhan just to say this is the time of asr?
I haven't seen such a thing before because it's something new. So one should refer back to the marja and ask for them to see if they allow, because that could be having something new in the shara that there wasn't.
The same person has asked, what about in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How many adhans were there? Were there 5?
As I've said, he later joined the salah, as the Sunnah mentioned, without any reason and cause. Because they said if there was a rain or trouble, then you can join them. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to the narration, they've joined the salah. So why should we separate? And even the adhan.
Got a long question here, Sheikhna. Assalamu alaikum. May Allah accept your prayers and du'as in the holy month of Ramadan. Peace be upon Muhammad and his household. Alaikum salam. May Allah accept your deeds as well. I have a question, but I'm a little bit embarrassed. But afterwards, it's about our belief. My husband and I have almost daily marital relations. I'm washing my hair every day for ghusl al-janaba, but as a woman with long hair, it's not always easy. Firstly, it takes more energy and time to dry it. Secondly, it makes the hair dry due to the hard water, and we wash ourselves with. And thirdly, it's really tired that sometimes it makes me hope that he won't come near me for marital relations, even if I want to, because I'm too tired to wash my hair while I just washed it yesterday. Now my question is it obligatory to wash my hair every day until water reaches the roots of my head, or is there an easier way? Thank you. I'm so sorry for the question. No, don't need to apologize for the question. It's actually a very, very good question. I'm sure a lot of sisters may want to actually know the answer. Sheikh, doing ghusl, especially for the ladies, long hair, it can be very difficult. Not unfortunately, maybe it's a good thing, but these two participate in intimacy daily. Now, she's feeling that the ghusl part of the day is going to interfere with the intimacy. So maybe the husband wants to be intimate with the wife, but the wife is thinking, okay, yeah, but I'm going to have to wash my hair again. I just washed it yesterday, and then it takes really, really long, and this and that and so forth. Is there an easier way for this sister to perform ghusl after intimacy?
Yes, indeed. She can cover the long hair with the plastic bag. There's special bags for the hair to be covered.
Shower caps.
Yes, and then she can just wash the hair roots, so the hair which is attached to the scalp.
Oh, okay.
Wash that, and that will be sufficient.
That's fine.
For the ghusl, yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Sheikh, we're going to go to a short break. We're going to leave you with the clip of how you can send in your questions. Don't go anywhere.
I have a question regarding keeping pictures of scholars.
Is it permissible to plant trees by or
Was
over
Islam
the
established
graves?
based on peace and
Is it
non-violence?
permissible to collect donations for charity projects from
Is it permitted to consume canned food imported from non-Muslim
Is there
countries?
an issue for men looking at non-Muslim women?
To have your questions answered live, call in on +44 2035 150199 or WhatsApp us on +44 7415 092155. Alternatively, you can also email us on Ahkam SOS at imamhussein.tv.
I have a question regarding keeping pictures of
Is it
scholars
permissible
at
to
home.
plant trees by or
Was
over
Islam
the
established
graves?
based on peace
Is
and
it permissible
non-violence?
to collect donations for charity projects from
Is it permitted to consume canned food imported from non-Muslim
Is there
countries?
an issue for men looking at non-Muslim women?
To have your questions answered live, call in on +44 2035 150199 or WhatsApp us on +44 7415 092155. Alternatively, you can also email us on Ahkam SOS at imamhussein.tv.
Yes, those are the many methods of you sending in your questions. Please send in your questions. We don't need to know your name or where you're asking from. Totally anonymous. And any question on any topic. We've had a sister here talking about, marital relations and so forth. We've had questions on menses. We've had questions on some really, really taboo topics. It's our duty to give you the Islamic answers and to do the research. If you have a question that is in regard to a particular opinion of a marja, we can go. We've got contacts with the official representatives and the official offices of all the maraja here, and we can, get in contact with them and get you your questions. No problem. Send in your questions via WhatsApp. You can send them via the email address. You can call us 0203 515 0199, or if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook Live, you can send in your questions there, and inshallah the technical team will be able to send them to me on my iPad here, and we can answer your questions inshallah. Assalamu alaikum Sheikhna.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum Sheikhna. When is Eid, please? How much is fitrah? Also, if a person is not well and couldn't fast, how much per day they need to pay? Do they need to do qaza of each day?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Initially, as I've said, we need to do this moon sighting
Which will be Sunday evening.
on the evening of the 29th. So
The eve of the 30th.
exactly, it's either 30 days or 29 days for this holy month. Secondly, the zakat al-fitra for the UK, it's for this year, it's between 6 and 7 pounds.
Okay.
Some would say 6, some would say 7 pounds, depending on each centers, the way they deal with the zakat al-fitra. The fidya for each day, let's say for the pregnant woman, breastfeeding woman, for the elderly who can't fast, is £1.50 each day. Fidya. Fidya for each day they miss. And for the one who intentionally commits and breaks his fast intentionally with food and drink is £90, 90, for each day. For intentionally breaking the fast in the month of Ramadan, to pay £90 a day.
Wow.
But zakat al-fitr is 6 to 7 pounds per day, as I've said, depending on the centers, as announced different figures, but it's between 6 and 7 pounds.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sheikh. I hope that helps with a lot of brothers and sisters. Question here coming in from WhatsApp, I believe. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. I am from an Iranian background and I wanted to know, is caviar halal to eat?
From what I know, it's not permissible. From what I know, yes. It's not permissible, yeah.
Because it's very big in Iranian culture, and I think they're one of the biggest suppliers of caviar in the world.
Yes.
It's quite famous, their caviar. But, okay, fair enough.
But the thing is, if it comes from a fish without scale, that's the problem.
If it's a fish with scales?
Yeah, you can eat whatever.
That's fine.
Related to the fish, but if it's from non-scaled fish, this is an issue.
Problematic.
Yeah.
Ahsant. Salam Sheikhna. In Salah, I always hear brothers, when leading, only say Surah Kawthar, and in the first rak'ah, and never any other surah in any other namaz. Is there a reason for that? And if so, is it still sunnah to recite any surah of the Quran, such as Surah Falaq? Okay, I see where the question's coming from. Surah Kawthar or Surah Tawheed also very, very popular and common when doing Jama'ah Salah. Is there a reason for that, Sheikh? Do we have any surahs which have, priority over others in Salah and stuff like that?
Yes, it is mentioned to recite Surah Inna Anzalnah, Surah Al-Qadr, yes, and Surah Al-Tawheed or Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Those are most important to be recited. Of course, if one can recite something longer, is also can do so. By the way, just going back to the question of the caviar, do you mean by the eggs of the fish, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the caviar.
Yeah, that's caviar.
Yeah. The ones without scales is an issue, yes.
No problem, Sheikh. Okay, next question. Assalamu alaikum. Is me summoning a jinn haram? That I would love to see, but yeah, summoning a jinn, Sheikh.
One should avoid, because these usually have some kind of harmful consequences on the individuals. One should avoid it in anyhow. So one should stay away from these things.
Assalamu alaikum from WhatsApp. If one is to get their menses 1 hour before iftar, must she redo the day of the fast?
Yes, the day is gone by that.
Oh wow! How unfortunate.
Exactly. So they have to redo it again after the holy month of Ramadan.
When a sister is in her monthly cycle, I mean, even though she's not fasting, should she still stay away from eating and drinking through daytime, or do her best not to eat?
Try not to show in front of her kids and husband and others, parents, but she can do so. She's exempt from fasting due to her situation.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Sheikhna, assalamu alaikum. Can I listen to music when I exercise?
Music, again, as I've said before, according to some ulama, that it's absolutely forbidden to be used and listened to. Some others would say that the ones which are amusing and joyful and suits the corrupt environment, or let's say like nightclubs and so forth, that type of music is haram. Entertaining ones are haram, but the classical would be allowed, for example. It depends on who you follow in overall.
Fair enough. From YouTube as well, because I almost stopped otherwise, is it okay just to hear piano or something soft?
Depending on the marja you follow.
Fair enough, fair enough. Some more questions, Sheikhna. Salam, if someone looks like they're about to do something to me, example, hit or stab me, for example, am I allowed to defend myself first, even before they do it? Because if they do it, then it may be too late. That's what's that. So if I feel a threat, if I feel someone's going to attack me, am I allowed to land the first strike, Islamically speaking? Or do you have to wait and then retaliate?
No, of course, one should defend and avoid any expected harm that might reach an individual, but one should use the minimum methods rather than just use violence and force. Yeah, the minimum, if you can.
Salam, Sheikh. If I had, it's from YouTube, if I had if I've eaten some food that contains pork without knowing, but know later that it contains pork, what should I do? Thank you.
I think we answered
this one, yeah.
Just say istighfar would be fine.
That's fine.
Inshallah.
Interesting question, Sheikh, from WhatsApp. If a man transitions into a female and removes her male body parts, will that person be permissible to have intercourse with?
If he's a man, of course, that's not permissible for the man to basically change his gender. It's not permissible. And he remains as a man, unless the one is having this issue of having two parts, for example. Two organs. We have in the hadith that the imams would give direction how to define yourself to be either inclined towards the male or the female. For example, one of the ways is to see if the one urinates on the ground or on the wall, for example. There are signs given, for example. Those are exemptions for those who are in this situation. But I can't change my gender to... I remain as a man. Mushkil.
I see. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. Once we get to Jannah, inshallah, what will be our purpose?
The Jannah is the aim and the objective of the believing individuals who have served the religion, served the believing individuals, served the humanity, worshipped Allah Azza wa Jal. They did the ibadah, they did all the good deeds, all the Allah's instructions. They were muttaqi, taqwa, refraining the haram, implementing the wajib, and of course the fate and the end result is paradise, which is the reward. It's all reward, to be with the reward. So you get what you have done in this dunya as a result.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. I have been told that the Quran, which has been compiled during the time of the Caliphs, is not in the correct order, but Allah has promised to protect it. Could you please explain?
In overall, the Quran that we believe in is as it was in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Besides Imam Ali ﷺ, who was also with the Prophet with this regard, compiling the Holy Quran. So this Quran as it was in the Holy Prophet ﷺ. If things will change maybe in the time of the Imams, as Zaman Ajjallah Farj Sharif's reappearance, we will see what's going to happen in that time. That's maybe, I don't know, maybe things might be changed in that time. But the Quran is as it was revealed on the Prophet ﷺ.
Assalamu alaikum. When I was a teen, I broke my fast intentionally, not knowing about the kafara, and that it was a sin. How can I calculate how much kafara I pay? Can I pay it on any month?
So he broke it intentionally.
But he didn't know that it was a sin to do that, or he wasn't aware of the repercussions or of the penalties.
Was he in his first bulugh days, or let's say bulugh?
I said when I was a teen, so yes.
Yes, I mean they say that just the qada would be sufficient for such individuals who are in their adolescence period, in which they would sometimes, let's say a 10-year-old girl would suddenly break her fast. She's feeling thirsty, for example.
They're not familiar with the.
So the Shara is a bit lenient with them. That only qada is required, no kafara for these individuals.
I see.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. I want to have multiple wives that I have converted to al-tashiyu from the kuffar beliefs. Is this permissible? What a question.
You see, in overall, marriage is allowed, and it's sunnah of Rasulullah and it is part of the human's desire and the requirement that needs to be fulfilled in the right way, in the right form. So be it long or short term, this is something you have to make it up yourself to see, if you can get married permanently, that would be of course great. If not, the short term is available, but just don't go to excess to, lustfully, objective or aim with this regard. Just take things easy. And
that's a really good question, Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum. I am a female and I am a henna design. She performs henna and stuff like that. Is it okay to post henna design pictures on my hand, staying firm with my intention? Also, the pictures will only be seen by ladies.
If only seen by ladies, it should be fine. Should be okay. Even the zina, if there's a zina on the hand, let's say henna, and let's say she wears gloves when she goes out with men, that's fine, but only to be shown to her, let's say, relatives, parents, for example, friends, females, with this regard. That should be, even the face, if she wants to walk out on the Eid day with makeup, she needs to cover the face, for example, and go to the women's gathering or her parents or relatives, let's say, lunch for the Eid, for example, and then show her face, for example, but not in public.
From YouTube, can I go to the mixed gym but lower my gaze to lose weight, as in the UK there are no men's gym only?
So he's a
brother.
Yeah.
For sisters, yes, there's a section for ladies only, or there's like a ladies only gym, but there's no such thing, or it's hard to find a men's only gym. So is he still allowed to go to the gym if he lowers his gaze and because he wants to get fit and healthy?
Some ulama have a bit precautions in this regard. But in anyhow, the Shari'i hukum is that if you don't look intentionally and you just go about your own, let's say, exercises without looking at the opposite gender, for example, that should be fine. But as I've said, some ulama would take precaution with this issue, because it's a mixed place, closed place, especially when women are not wearing properly in the gyms. So some would have some issues with this regard. But as I've said, non-intentional look, you just go with the exercise, that should be fine.
Sheikh, I have a phone call, inshallah, we'll be able to help the viewer with their query. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, brother. Inshallah, your fast is going good. You're good.
Thank you. You're live on Ahkam SOS. Your question for the Sheikh, please.
Okay, so my question is, in Europe, there's no mixed gyms. Well, there's no men-only gyms. So I was just wondering, from Sistani's ruling, is it permissible for a man to go to a mixed gym with the intention of just exercising and lowering his gaze?
Okay, thank you very much for your question, brother. Inshallah, the Sheikh will answer it now. Thank you very much. And may Allah accept all your amans, inshallah. Sheikh, I think you've just answered it, but for the brother,
yes,
can
exactly,
you just repeat the answer for him?
Yeah, basically, as I said, some ulama would take precaution with this regard, that it's a mixed place, and of course, some of the women would be in proper clothes and come to the gym, as we know. But in overall, what is the rule is that as long as there's no intentional look at those ladies, because you'll find the same ladies in summertime in August and July in the streets, in the supermarkets, even worse sometimes than what they were in the gyms. The whole idea is not to look intentionally. لِيَغَضُّ أَبْصَارُهُمْ, as the Quran mentions, to lower your gaze. Don't look intentionally. Be it in the street, in the gym, in the market, at school, university. The aim is to always keep your eyes clean from such bad intentional looking at the opposite gender.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. From YouTube, can we eat processed meat that says halal on it, on the label? That's a really good question, because Sheikhna, sometimes the processed meat that we have comes from body parts that we're not allowed to eat. For example, like the lungs or the pancreas, or other parts of the body that of an animal which we're not allowed to eat or we don't eat. So processed meat, and it says halal on it. Can we say that? Yeah, okay, those body parts haven't been put in, we can eat it.
And overall, if it's a Muslim company who is producing those processed meats, then it should be fine.
Okay,
no issue.
From YouTube, in prayer, we are not supposed to say Ameen after Alhamd. Is it also for any dua?
Yes, what we can say is to say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We as the followers of the Imam. So the Imam says, وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ, we say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So that's some kind of dua, and even it's a verse, Quranic verse that we can recite. We can recite dua, dhikr and Quran in the salah. But Ameen is not part of these three.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Final question for this episode.
Inshallah.
When should we pay zakat al-fitra? Can we pay it a few days before Eid? Can you pay it maybe a day or two after Eid? What if you're not well and you can't pay it? Can you pay it later on?
You have to pay it on the morning of the Eid before you go to the salah. You pay it before the salah, or before the noon if one can't. They don't go to salah.
Okay.
Before the noon of the Eid. Noon, salat al-dhuhr of the Eid. You should have paid that zakat. But what some ulama say that you can actually pay it before the Eve or the Eid day, a few days before, with the intention of, you give it to, let's say if you have somebody who is poor, with the intention of giving it as a loan. So don't use it, keep it as a loan. And when the Eid comes, you turn the intention into zakat al-fitra, and they can take it and spend it as a result.
I see. Thank you very much, Sheikh. Thank you to all the viewers for joining us on this episode of Ahkam SOS. Inshallah, myself and the Sheikh will be back tomorrow for our final episode of the Ramadan season of Ahkam SOS. Inshallah, please join us. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, send it in via the WhatsApp, the email address. You can send it on the comment section of YouTube or Facebook Live when you're watching, and inshallah we'll be able to answer your questions. Myself and Sheikh will be back tomorrow 5:10 London time here on Imam Hussein TV, Sky Channel 789. Watch us there, or watch us on TikTok at Ahkam SOS, inshallah, where we have different questions, and we do interact with our followers as well, and we have special content just for TikTok. So see us there, or see us tomorrow here on Imam Hussein TV 3. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
We question our daily position, seeking answers and definitions. Get the queries off your chest with Ahkam SOS.
I have a question regarding keeping pictures of
Is it
scholars
permissible
at
to
home.
plant trees by or
Was
over
Islam
the
established based on peace
Is
and
it permissible
non-violence?
to collect donations for charity projects from
Is it permitted
individuals?
to consume canned food imported from non-Muslim
Is there an
countries?
issue for men looking at non-Muslim women?
To have your questions answered live, call in on +44 2035 150199 or WhatsApp us on +44 7415 092155. Alternatively, you can also email us on ahkamsos@imamhussein.tv.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah wa barakatuh and Ramadan Kareem. The Imam Hussein Charity will be running its food basket campaign again this year, giving you the opportunity to help destitute and impoverished families throughout the whole of Iraq and Afghanistan. Each food basket contains essentials such as rice, flour, dried lemons, tea, fruits and vegetables, oil, tomato paste, dates, and much, much more. Each basket is £25 and can feed a family of 4 for up to 10 days. You can feed a family of 4 for the whole of Ramadan for only £75. You can donate via bank transfer, PayPal, or visit us at www.imamhusseincharity.com.
As lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, we all have an inclination to the epitome of love. When we rejoice, when times are hard, whatever stage of life we are in, we all yearn to be in one special place. We all wish to visit the blessed shrine of Imam al-Hussein in the holy city of Karbala. Not all of us have the blessing to visit the shrine of Imam Hussein, but there is still a way to experience the sights and sound of the blessed land of Karbala in the comfort of your own homes.
We call upon you, dear viewers, to support us in our financial costs to help bring the Holy Land of Karbala beaming into your homes. You can support us with a monthly donation of just $50 or £30. We are your gateway to Karbala. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Imam Hussein TV3.
I think it's everyone's dream to work and serve the Ahlul Bayt alayhum salam.
Working with this project allows us to contribute back to the community